At Watch Dojo, we're passionate about one thing: movies. Experience the magic of cinema like never before and be part of an epic journey beyond the screen. Brace yourself for a heart-pumping ride as we follow the story of Tale of Tales, a film that will transport you to a magical world of fantasy, horror, and drama. Directed by Italian filmmaker Matteo Garrone, this film explores the consequences of desire and the price of greed through three interconnected fairy tales, from a queen's obsession with bearing a child, to a king's fixation on a giant flea, to an ogre's quest for love. Each tale is a journey of self-discovery and reflection. Get ready to be captivated by the stunning visuals, compelling characters, and powerful themes of Tale of Tales. Chapter 1. The Queen's Desire. In the kingdom of Long Trellis, the queen, Salma Hayek, has a deep desire for a child. She and the king, John C. Reilly, have tried for years, but to no avail. The queen is willing to do anything to conceive, and so she turns to a powerful and mysterious sorcerer, Franco Pistoni, for help. The sorcerer agrees to help the queen, but his price is steep. He demands that the king must kill a sea monster and feed its heart to the queen. The king sets out on this dangerous quest, but he is killed by the sea monster. The queen, however, is able to consume the heart and finally conceives a child. As the queen's pregnancy progresses, she becomes increasingly obsessed with her child and will do anything to protect it. When the child is finally born, it is a boy with a strange birthmark on his ankle. The queen names him Elias and raises him in isolation, keeping him away from the rest of the world. But as Elias grows older, the queen's grip on him becomes tighter, and she becomes increasingly possessive and controlling. Elias begins to long for the outside world and yearns to explore beyond the walls of his chambers. As the queen's obsession with Elias grows, tensions rise within the kingdom, and rumors begin to spread out about the true nature of the queen's deal with the sorcerer. Will Elias be able to break free from the queen's grip and discover the truth about his past? Chapter 2. The King's Obsession. The second chapter begins with the introduction of the king, John C. Reilly, a wealthy and powerful ruler who is obsessed with a giant flea. The king's obsession with the flea has consumed him to the point where he neglects his own daughter, Violet, BB Cave, and spends all his time and resources trying to acquire the flea. Violet is a lonely and neglected princess who yearns for her father's attention and affection. She spends most of her time alone in the castle garden, where she meets a mysterious old woman, Salma Hayek, who tells her stories of magic and adventure. Meanwhile, the king's obsession with the flea leads him to issue a decree offering a huge reward to anyone who can catch it. This attracts the attention of two shady characters, a pair of impoverished elderly sisters, Shirley Henderson and Hayley Carmichael, who see an opportunity to change their fortunes. The sisters hatch a plan to catch the flea and present it to the king, but their scheme is foiled when a masked stranger steals the flea from them. The king is furious and orders the capture of the thief. In the midst of all this chaos, Violet discovers a hidden door in the castle and follows it to a secret room. There, she discovers a magical mirror that transports her to another world. The second chapter ends with Violet disappearing into the mirror, leaving the king to search for her frantically. Meanwhile, the mysterious old woman reveals herself to be the queen of the hidden world and offers to help Violet find her way back home. Chapter 3. The Ogre's Quest. The chapter begins with the introduction of the ogre, played by Vincent Cassel. He is a lonely and isolated creature who is desperate to find a companion. One day, he discovers a flower that can grant wishes. He decides to use it to find someone to love and sets out on a quest to find the person who can help him make his wish come true. As he journeys through the enchanted forest, he encounters a group of travelers, including the king, Toby Jones, who is on a mission to find the heart of a sea monster to heal his ailing daughter. The ogre sees an opportunity to use his wish to win the king's favor and offers to help him on his quest. As they continue their journey, the ogre begins to develop feelings for one of the travelers, a beautiful young woman named Violet, BB Cave. He is torn between his desire for her and his wish to find someone to love. He also struggles with his own identity as a monster and fears that he will never be accepted by society. The tension builds as the group faces many obstacles and challenges on their quest, including a fierce battle with a sea monster. The ogre proves his bravery and loyalty to the group, but he still feels alone and misunderstood. In a moment of vulnerability, the ogre confides in Violet about his wish and his fear of never finding someone to love. She listens to him with compassion and they develop a deep bond. As they finally reach their destination and the king's daughter is healed, the ogre realizes that his wish has already come true. He has found a companion and a true friend in Violet. He realizes that his identity as a monster does not define him, and that love comes in many forms. The chapter ends with the ogre and Violet sharing a heartfelt moment, and the audience is left with a sense of hope and optimism. The chapter highlights the importance of acceptance, friendship, and the power of love to transcend societal norms and expectations. Chapter 4. The Old Woman's You. In this narrative, we are transported to another nearby kingdom, where the king of Strongcliff, Vincent Cassel, is in search of his queen. However, he is a notorious womanizer and is always surrounded by youthful beauties. The king is bewitched by the sound of a woman's singing, unaware of the fact that she is one of the two elderly sisters, Imma and Dora. The king is desperate to see Dora, while she strives to regain her youth to impress him. When all her efforts go in vain, she agrees to spend the night with the king, but there is a catch. There must be complete darkness around them so he can't gaze upon her. In her attempt to woo the king, Dora goes too far. She even pins her loose skin behind her back before she leaves for the palace. Ultimately, her plan fails, and the king discovers that he had been deceived. The next morning, he throws her out of his palace window. Dora survives the fall and is rescued by a fairy, who then turns her into a young and jaw-droppingly beautiful maiden. The story takes a dramatic turn when the king finds Dora in the woods once again, falls in love, and decides to marry her right away. Imma is also invited to their wedding. When Imma inquires Dora how she regained her youth, she misguides her. Dora annoyingly says that she got herself flayed. Imma, who is now motivated by jealousy and insecurity, decides to peel off her skin, which leaves her bloody and disfigured. Sadly, she passes away soon after. In a mournfully sad ending, we witness that Dora begins to turn old again, eventually losing everything she ever had: her inexplicable beauty, the king's attention, and a loving sister. Chapter 5. The Consequences of Desire. As the tales come to a close, we see the consequences of the character's desires and actions. The queen, consumed by her desire for a child, gives birth to a monstrous creature that kills her and her husband. The creature is then slain by the king, who learns the true meaning of love and sacrifice. The ogre, after completing his quest, realizes that his greed and desire for power have led him to destroy the very thing he sought to protect. He ultimately pays the price for his actions, losing both his life and his kingdom. The old woman, after regaining her youth, is unable to find true happiness and is haunted by the memories of her past. She ultimately chooses to live out the rest of her days in solitude, recognizing the consequences of her selfish desire. In the end, we are reminded that everything comes with a price, and that the choices we make have the power to shape our lives and the lives of those around us. These fables from Tale of Tales serve as a cautionary reminder of the dangers of greed and desire, and the importance of finding true happiness and contentment in life. As the credits roll, we are left with a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty and complexity of the world we live in, and the power of storytelling to inspire and captivate us. Tale of Tales is a masterful work of art, weaving together elements of fantasy, drama, and horror to create a timeless tale that will stay with us long after the final scene. Thanks for watching the movie recap of Tale of Tales. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, make sure to leave a comment below with your thoughts on the movie and any other movies you'd like us to recap. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more movie recaps, reviews, and summaries. We appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more exciting content in the future.